Okay, guys, this is going to be a probably weekly assignment. And the purpose of what I'm going to explain now is to uh, find a way to let students see the solutions to homeworks, but only after the assignment is due. So that's thing number one. And thing number two is to make a copy of each assignment as assigned. So that's the purpose of the dual purposes of what we're about in this video. Okay. So what I've set up, as you know, as you're familiar with, are homeworks for the students. And if I just take one at random here, let's take homework number 3. You can see that it's due next Thursday, February 13th at 8:30, and it's only available until February 13th at 8:30. Okay. So anyone who does it, of course, gets to see it through the whole semester, irrespective of this date. But anyone who doesn't do it will not be able to see the assignment. So the way the assignments are set up right now is students can see their answers, um, but they do not see the correct answers, unless, of course, their answer was correct, and they don't see any explanations for why correct answers are correct. But I want students to be able to see why correct answers are correct after the assignment is due. And of course, I want to let them know what the correct answers are. So I've started to do this, and this is what I'm going to start having you do. So I've set up a section down here called Homework Solutions. And you see this is not available until the due date for the homework. That's very important. And then it's only available through some reasonable time after exam one. Other thing to note here is homework solutions count for 0% of the student's total grade. So the individual points for each assignment just absolutely don't matter at all, because if they get zeros on all of these, which they probably will, they may, doesn't matter, doesn't affect their grade. All right. So what I want to do with you now is show you how this works, how to create these things. It's a little bit complicated, and we do that from the assignment up here itself, okay, as it's been assigned. So let's create a solution for homework 03, okay. Um, so the first thing we need to do, step one, okay, is we're going to change the name of this assignment, and you'll see why in a second, but this is very important. So even though it's been assigned, we can do that. And then whoever is making the solution and the record copy, just at the end here, put your initials in. Okay, so that's fine. So we say save there. Okay, and that's good. So I've changed the name a little bit there. Um, and now I'm going to go to home, and I'm going to go down to settings, and I'm going to export course content. This is what's going to make a copy of that assignment that we can bring back into Canvas in this course, later semesters courses. We could bring it in at another university that uses Canvas. So it's kind of a cool thing. All right, so we click on that. Export type is always going to be quiz. So we hit quiz and select quizzes to export. And we just want to go down to this guy. We're doing homework number 3, and we need to do these one at a time. Okay, one at a time. And we check the one that we want and we say create export. Okay, and it goes actually very quickly. All right. And so that export is a zip file that's up in the cloud somewhere. I have no idea where, so we're going to have to grab it. So that's the first thing you do. It will always be listed immediately as new export. Okay. And so we click on that and it downloads it. Okay. And now we have to rename the name of this zip file. Okay. So I'm going to say show in folder. So that actually is the file that we have created. So that's very cool, but this name doesn't help us at all. This very generic name, so we want to rename it. Okay, and we're going to rename it just with a complete unique identifier. So how about homework 03, and we could say, let's put in the semester 20T1, that stands for tertile1.zip. So that's like down here. Down here, I accidentally made homeworks 2 and 3, so that's not good. So we're making homework 3 here now. Okay, to be unique by itself. All right, so I changed that name, and then this file you need to email me after you've renamed the name. And that way I can take it, I can use it in other classes, I can use it next semester, I can use it in China if I go back and teach in China again. It's really kind of an awesome resource there. Okay, so that's that. So we've got that, and now we're going to go back to settings again. And now, as you might expect, we're going to import content. And by the way, you should absolutely never copy and paste an assignment. That overwrites things, it screws up the grade book, all that stuff. So that's why we're doing this in this very kludgy way, but it is what it is. Okay, so now we're ready to import course content. Okay, and the content type, it's going to be that way down at the bottom here, the QTI zip file. Okay, and this will not find the file if it's up in the cloud. It's got to be locally on your drive. So we hit choose file, and I need to go to my downloads are in downloads, wherever you have that download. This is the one that I want. Okay, so it's got that. And we definitely want to put this also, it's going to be in assignments, but I also want it in a question bank, which is going to be exam 1. And that's really nice because that makes it a lot easier for me to make up exams by simply changing and expanding on homework. So definitely don't forget to do this. It's exam 1. And then, of course, when we get into homeworks associated with exam 2, we'll change that to question bank exam 2, etc., etc. Okay, we do not click this overwrite assessment. That's a bad thing, so don't do that. And we are going to say import and blammo. Here we go. And this should run very quickly. It should not take more than 1 minute. Okay. And that's completed, and that's very cool. And if we go back to assignments, now you're going to see that hopefully nothing up here has changed. Otherwise, something bad would have happened. Um, and we're scrolling down here and we're not seeing anything. We're not seeing anything, but don't panic. Okay, we get down to here, and here is homework 03. And you see it has the exact same name as up above, okay? And that can be very confusing to Canvas, and that can cause Canvas to create all sorts of horrific errors, okay? So before we do anything else with this assignment, we need to go back up here and change this name again. And that's going to prevent all sorts of horrific things from happening. Okay, so this one, just change that name. Okay, so now we have two unique names. So here's the original assignment, and here's the copy in this group called imported assignments. Um, and that's super cool. Okay, all right, so then all I want to do with this, after I've changed the names, we have unique names for these two. I'm just going to put this into homework solutions. Here we go. Do, 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 do. And of course, put it in the right order. All of that stuff matters a lot to me. Whoops, I've somehow maybe put it in the wrong place here. What happened to that? Um, Oh no, I can't find it. So I'm going to pause the video for a second while I go find this. I clearly dumped this somewhere where I didn't want to do it. Oh, here it is right here. Okay, great. All right, so let's see if I can do a better job this time. There we go. All right, so we're almost done, okay? All we want to do now is we want to unpublish it. Very important, very, 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 very important. Actually, I take that all back. Not very important. Don't worry about unpublishing it, and I'll show you why in a second. Okay. Um, all right, so let's edit this guy. Okay, and we'll go to more options. It has its unique identifier, so that's all good. We don't have to muck around with questions. Any of that, we're going to stop. Allow multiple attempts. We are going to let students see their quiz responses, and we're going to let students see the correct answers. So now you'll see the benefit of that, okay? But this is now, we only want students to be able to see this. Whoops. What's going on here, guys? From the time that the original assignment is due, AM, and we could make this like March 20th. That's definitely going to be after the after exam one. Okay, so let's say save. Okay, so We'll also change the due date here to March 20th at 8:30 a.m. Okay. And I think that's all looking good. Very important. Available from has to correspond to when the actual assignment is due, not before, because I don't want students to see the solutions beforehand. And the available until is just going to be sometime after exam one. Um, and now we're going to say save. That's all we have to do. Okay. Um, and now let's preview this assignment. And the awesome thing about this is I'm just going to go through and get them all wrong just to so I can quickly show you what's what and who's who here. Um, and so here's question 3, and here's question 4. And actually, I think I remember that's the correct balance sheet, and that's it. And let's submit the quiz, and the beautiful thing now is that students get to see the correct answers. And if I have a comment for the correct answer, explaining why the correct answer is correct, they get to see that also. So everything is perfect. Okay. So that's the idea, and I'm going to start assigning this to you guys weekly. You have to be, please, very careful with this. It's very easy, I can tell you from experience, to screw up Canvas while you're doing this, so please follow these instructions very, very carefully. So just to finish up. So here's the homework 3 that's due on February 13th, and you can see here the way I've got this set up is that they have uh, shuffle answers, multiple attempts. They have 2 attempts, keep their highest score, view responses, but they don't see the correct answers if they did not choose them, and they're not going to see comments on why a correct answer is correct if they didn't get the correct answer. But then, as you know, as soon as the assignment due date has passed, as if by magic, this is going to appear to them. It's going to be available February 13th at 8:30, the due date time, and they're going to get to be able to see all the correct answers. And when I have explanations for why the answers are correct, they're going to see that too. And that will be true until sometime after the first exam. So that's it. I'll start assigning this to you on Thursday.